for joining us for another episode of Southern Indiana Now. We've got a lot of special guests lined up for you. And of course, we're talking about the Muscatatuck Wildlife Refuge today. There's things on that. We're talking about the Seymour Oktoberfest. You want to make sure you get that on your calendar. We're going to introduce you to the Bearded Hobo. Yes, he's here in person. And also we have other great guests, including United Way. So lots of fun things happening in and around Southern Indiana. You found it here on Southern Indiana Now. I want to also thank Prosser Career and Education Center for making this show possible. And of course, Prosser is the best place to check out if you're looking for a change in career, or if you have a kiddo in high school wanting to look on hands-on experiences so when they graduate, they can be looking forward to those high-figure salaries. That's good. They've got a lot of different career options for you. You can get connected with Prosser at Prosser Career and Education Center. You can give them a quick Google and you can start today. And we're back on Southern Indiana Now. I'm Kelly Trask, and we're with the infamous Robert Becker today, talking about the Wildlife Refuge and all the things happening at the Muscatatuck. And of course, this is part of our Hoosier Homestead series. So thanks so much for joining us, Robert. And you've been around quite a long time, and I know you have big connections to doing things with Muscatatuck and volunteering. So I know we could have a whole other segment talking about your life and so forth. Maybe we need to do that.
No, I think people are ready for me to go away. I think so, yeah.
I don't think so. You have too much stuff happening, especially at the Muscatatuck. So let's talk about the new dock, where the fishing day coming up in September 13th, and all sorts of things around the corner.
All right, one of my retirement activities is I'm on the board of the Wildlife Society out in Muscatatuck and a volunteer there. So if people aren't familiar with the Wildlife Refuge, I know a lot of people from Seymour don't go out there. It's a wonderful place for hiking and bird watching and seeing animals. We have an auto tour. And we put on a lot of special activities. Our big fall activity is Log Cabin Day in October. We have Wings Over Muscatatuck coming up in the spring. And coming up on September 13th, we have our free fishing day out at the refuge. Very exciting event that people need to come out for.
And tell me a little bit more about the free fishing day coming up in September. I think kiddos can really score some fun things too, right?
Yeah, it's going to be at 3 locations throughout the refuge. At the Visitor Center, we're going to have kids' games, fishing contests. Let's see what we're doing at the Visitor Center. It'll be Saturday the 13th from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. Mm-hmm. Starting at 7:30 in the morning, people can register at the Visitor Center. And we're giving out free fishing poles for kids to borrow. And we're also free bait for the fishermen. So there's 2 activities for fishing. One is at Discovery Pond, which will be for the kids 15 and under. And we're having a fishing contest. So it's a wonderful fishing area just for kids. And the biggest fish will get a big prize. So that'll be going on starting at 8 till 1 o'clock. Okay. The big fishing contest at Discovery Ponds. And that's only for kids. I mean, adults can come, but only the kids are allowed to fish. And that's true throughout the year.
Exactly. Okay, so lots of fun things happening. What are some of your favorite quiet times there? Do you have a certain spot in Muscatatuck you like to go, or is it a really good area for certain wildlife watching than others?
Yeah, I mean, I like the hike around Rehart Lake. Mm-hmm. And there's the all kinds of hikes. You come in, you get a map. You know, we've got Lake Linda we'll talk about. It's kind of a very quiet place back there. We have Myers Cabin and all kinds of different things that people can see. If you want to see otters, you want to see birds, we've got them all out there for people to come.
Yeah, a lot of fun happening out there. And if people want to get connected with maybe volunteering, they maybe want to follow in your retirement footsteps, or maybe they want to just plan a date night, family day. What's the best way to get connected?
You can always reach out to the Muscatatuck Wildlife Society. We have a Facebook page. Or come out there. We have sheets you can fill out to be a volunteer and learn more about it.
All right.
The Visitor Center is now open Monday through Friday from 8:30 till 4:30. Things have kind of changed with some things going on. Donna Stanley was out there forever and ever retired. And of course, with cutbacks, they're not rehiring anybody. So there's a hiring freeze. So we're not open on Saturdays at the Visitor Center, but the refuge is open every day.
Yeah, every day.
Yeah.
All right. And I did want to make mention of the new dock.
That's a big thing. That's very exciting. There used to be a dock there, and years ago, it kind of took a toll, so they had to tear it down. So we have a new dock, the Lake Linda Fishing Pier, and that was done with a grant from the Jackson County Visitor Center and funds raised by the Muscatatuck Wildlife Society. So it's a wonderful new dock, handicap accessible. And part of what's happening on September 13th is we're having a ribbon cutting and a dock dedication. That'll happen at 10 o'clock. I know Aaron Banks from the Visitor Center will be there. Alondro, our refuge manager, will be there. So we're going to dedicate the dock. And then right afterwards, we have free fishing poles to give out. Compliments and donated by the Rehart family in memory of Allison Rehart, who's a big fisher person out there.
Yeah.
And as you know, the Rehart family has a long history there.
Yes.
The office used to be, I guess, the grandfather's house. The lake is named after them. So Jordan got this whole thing hooked up. So we're going to give out free fishing poles to kids after the dedication, right around 10 o'clock, and that's at Lake Linda. And anyone can fish at Lake Linda. No age requirements there.
Yeah.
But again, Discovery Pond is just for the kids.
All right, fantastic. Do get connected with all things at Muscatatuck. And of course, if you want to reminisce with Robert Becker or just get in touch with him, you can do that there as well. We'll be back right here on Southern Indiana Now. I'm Kelly Trask.
Hi, I'm Emery Jones, Career Education Coordinator at Prosser Career Education Center in New Albany. Are you ready to build your future? At Prosser, you'll explore 29 hands-on, high-wage programs, from aviation to culinary, welding to cybersecurity, all designed to launch real careers or college success. Prosser is located at 4202 Charlestown Road, New Albany, Indiana. Need help? Call our main office at 812-542-8508 or visit your school counselor today to learn more. Prosser, where your future begins.
And we're back on Southern Indiana Now. I'm Kelly Trask, and we are honored to be joined by Mike Smith. He's with the Bearded Hobo, and of course, is part of our Hoosier Hustle segment on Southern Indiana Now. So, Mike, let's talk about the Bearded Hobo.
Perfect.
What a fun name,
Oh,
first
it's
of
crazy,
all.
right?
It is a good name. So let's talk about the story. How did the Bearded Hobo come to be? What is it?
Okay.
And where can people find you?
So Sam, Steffi, and I have been friends now for probably 17, 18 years. He's originally from Illinois. I'm from Terre Haute. I moved to Seymour in 2000. We made friends fairly quickly, and we always decided if we were going to do a business venture that we were going to tie the word hobo into it. I want to say it's his second great grandparents lived in Reelsville, Illinois.
Okay.
The grandmother was pregnant, lost a set of twins. The same time frame, the town of 300 found a transient worker on the railroad tracks. No one knew him, no ID. They're like, what are we going to do with this guy? Again, this was 1919.
Yeah.
So back then, laws were a little easier than they are today. So the grandfather said, we'll just bury him at the foot of the grave of the twins. It won't take that much space. So in their family plot in Reelsville, Illinois, there's one gravesite with two headstones, one for the twins and one for the unknown hobo. So that's how the hobo came about.
Okay.
And then
What a story.
I'm bearded, so
Yeah,
there you
doing
go.
the math.
Bearded
Doing the
hobo.
math.
Doing
I'm
the
blonde,
math.
but I can do a little math.
Easy math, 1980s math.
1980s math. I'm with you. So where is the Bearded Hobo located?
So the Bearded Hobo is in Brownstown, Indiana. We're across the street from the JC store. It used to be the Army Surplus store. The basement of that is our brewery. We just started our third beer yesterday. Right now we have a Kolsch we named A number one. A number one was a gentleman that was friends with the hobos. He himself wasn't a true hobo, but the hobos looked up to him
Okay.
as their guy, their mentor.
I'm getting some hobo culture right now.
Homo culture. So we named our first beer after him.
Okay.
The second beer we have out, which was an IPA, came out 2 weeks ago, yesterday.
Wow.
It's called Keep Away IPA. Again, going with the hobo theme. They have several drawings they'd leave behind for other hobos to know if the place was safe or not safe, don't stay here. So the Keep Away was basically two legs walking. So that's our IPA. And then, like I said, we just started brewing our cherry blonde yesterday.
Ooh.
Hope to tap it, keg it, and tap it 2 weeks from today. We're calling it the Kind-Hearted Lady. The Kind-Hearted Lady design was a kitty cat. The hobos would draw a cat outside of a lady's house if she was friendly. So the Kind-Hearted Lady will be our cherry blonde, and that'll be the decal logo, if you will, for that beer.
All right.
Yeah.
So you all tell me when you're open and what people can find out. I'm sure you got their great beers, but
Pub and restaurants open
Yep.
7 days a week, Monday through Saturday, 11 to 10. Kitchen closes at 9. Sundays, 11 to 8. Kitchen closes at 7. On Friday nights and Saturdays, we have the restaurant side open just because of the volume of people. The rest of the time, it's the pub side, and families can sit on the pub side because the state passed a law 2 years ago that children can sit in a pub or a restaurant or a bar. They just can't sit at the bar rail.
Yeah.
So we're open 7 days a week, locally owned, veteran owned. So we got a lot of good things going on in Brownstown, and
Absolutely.
we support the local teams. Like we've had the basketball team, the football team, different Brownstown sports in for lunch or supper. This year for the Brownstown Central football games, Sam and I will be at halftime doing a field goal competition. And then, if they kick it in and you want to step back 10 more yards, double or nothing kind of thing. So we're doing what we need to do, we feel, in the community and, the county surrounding us. We get a lot of people from Salem. We get a lot of people from Bedford. Our beer's on tap in Bloomington at the Sinkhole. Story Inn has both the IPA and the Kolsch. Scottsburg Bootleggers used to be called Hardee's, I believe, or Shipley's, something like that. They have our Kolsch on tap. Rails will have our IPA our Kolsch on tap starting next weekend. And Reed's Place just tapped our IPA last night. So
you're growing all throughout Southern Indiana,
right? Then it's the businesses that are wanting to be local. They want to help the local guys.
That is the trend.
Yes.
That was the heart behind this show. We wanted something that connected people to Southern Indiana.
Sure.
Just kind of gave them a little insight and a little glimpse of all the people doing crazy things. So I love your story. Who knows where it's going to go?
We have no idea. When Sam and I bought the property in October 22, we had visions of taking the Hobo statewide and having different locations. Then we decided to go ahead and fire up their brewery. So I'm not saying the Hobo won't have locations throughout the state, but the focus now is the brewery and get our beer out. We're self-distributing. We can go anywhere inside the state line.
Well, your beer is the Hobo. Your beer can go anywhere. Anywhere you want.
And, some fraternity brothers and buddies back at Indiana State, they're wanting to get some beers on in Terre Haute. So we're expanding. We're not there yet, but it just takes time to get there, and it'll happen.
Absolutely. Well, thanks so much. You can check out the Bearded Hobo, easy to get to in Brownstown. And, of course, if you can't make it to Brownstown, sounds like you can try those different varieties all throughout Southern Indiana. We'll be back right here on Southern Indiana Now. I'm Kelly Trask.
Join me, Jay Hubbard, weekdays from 6 to 10 every morning. It's Jay's Morning Wake Up Call, blending today's greatest country hits with local news, weather, and a couple laughs. Jay's Morning Wake Up Call on 92.7 WXKU.
And we're back on Southern Indiana Now, and we are so excited to be featuring our next guest, Miss Kendra Zumix, with the Seymour Oktoberfest. Of course, no matter where you're watching the show from in Southern Indiana, this is a trip everybody makes back home, or if you're seeing it for the first time, the Oktoberfest is an event you don't want to miss. Coming up that first few Thursday, Friday, and Saturday in October. And of course, Kendra's going to tell us all about it, but definitely something as part of our Hoosier Happenings feature that's going to be important to Southern Indiana. Of course, this is the 52nd year, right?
Yeah, we're really excited about it. We're going to kick things off on October 2nd, officially 2nd through the 4th from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. We have 2 beer gardens set up, a carnival, 75 food vendors, 50 craft vendors, 3 stages of live entertainment, all kinds of activities, baby contest, baking contest, Prince and Prince contest, 5K on Saturday, hot air balloon glow on Friday night, and a race on Saturday.
Yeah.
So there's lots of stuff to do.
Yeah, there's definitely not going to be anybody bored for those 3 days in Southern Indiana. I do know that. So the second beer garden's kind of new, right?
Yeah, so we've had it, this will be the 3rd year now, Seymour Brewing Company. They have craft beer, several different choices, and then something else, usually an apple cider slushy, something that's alcoholic.
Yeah. All right. So lots of something for everybody is the point. And of course, it's known. People always talk about the food. So let's just talk about the food for a minute. Number 1, I'm hungry, so it's a good time to do that. But number 2, what's some of your favorites? And then what will we be seeing this year?
So there's a couple of new ones that I think people will be excited about. So a lot of people my age remember the Wisconsin cheese sticks, the big ones. So they'll be back. We have a cheese curd vendor coming from Ohio that will be here. And then all of your normal favorites. We have a couple of different new ones. So Dirty Dough, the cookie company, will be joining us this year. So I would say I'm probably going to go with a fan favorite of Miss Piggy's. That's probably one of my all-time favorites. It's going to be hard to beat, and definitely something I always get. Yeah. So I actually had a corn dog for the first time like 3 years ago.
Like ever in your life?
Ever in my life.
Okay.
And Gresham's.
Well, welcome to the club.
Yeah, so Gresham's down on South Chestnut had the best corn dog. Like, obviously, it was my first. And
they're so good.
anytime I go, I make
Yeah.
sure and get one because I love it.
Yeah.
And then there's lots of like neat little things, like sweet tea and Jesus. I feel like I live off of
Yeah.
sweet tea that weekend.
Yeah.
And I'm always a sucker for a good pineapple whip.
Yep, that's the same. I get one of those every year. It lived multiple times.
Yes.
I love the fish sandwich, the Kiwanis fish sandwich. I try to have it every single year.
Lots of people do. That line is
Yeah.
always a line.
It's because why can we not find fish like that anytime else the rest of the year? I don't even know where they get it from. I don't know how they make it. I volunteered when I was in high school, but I'm telling you, that is the best fish sandwich. So maybe
would
because it's
agree.
just made at the Oktoberfest.
Maybe.
There's something extra greasy in the air that week. So maybe that's what it is. I don't know. It's like the extra splash of grease. I don't know. So we're going to have the parade, all the fun things, lots of live entertainment too, right?
Yes, we do. So Thursday we'll have Clayton Anderson. Friday night we'll have the Headbangers Ball, and then the Bronson Arroyo Band on Saturday night. So and then there'll also be fill-in on all three stages. Contests at the West with the chicken dance and the polka contest. So yeah, there's lots of they're filling in all of the extra spaces right now, and the schedule events will be available soon.
All right. I love it. Anything else you want to add? Must-dos? This is a free event. Of course, you buy your stuff when you're here, but you don't have to pay to park usually, and you don't have, if you can get lucky, and you don't have to pay to get in.
Yeah, so we have 2 trolleys running from Seymour High School. So if you want to avoid the hunt and find of a parking spot, check out the parking at the Seymour High School. The trolley runs. Last year we had 2. We plan to have 2 again. Those hours are 4 to 11:15 on Thursday, and then from 11 to 11:15 on Friday. And then it will start at 4 p.m. after the parade.
All right. Lots of fun stuff. You can go online. Kendra, what's the website where people can get a whole list of all the fun events?
SeymourOktoberfest.com.
All right. Fantastic. We'll be back right here on Southern Indiana Now. I'm Kelly Trask.
Hi, I'm Emery Jones, Career Education Coordinator at Prosser Career Education Center in New Albany. Are you ready to build your future? At Prosser, you'll explore 29 hands-on, high-wage programs, from aviation to culinary, welding to cybersecurity, all designed to launch real careers or college success. Prosser is located at 4202 Charlestown Road, New Albany, Indiana. Need help? Call our main office at 812-542-8508 or visit your school counselor today to learn more. Prosser, where your future begins.
And we're back on Southern Indiana Now, and as part of our Hoosier Heart segment, where we get to share the good news of things happening in and around Southern Indiana. Wanted to bring one of the biggest hearts I know, and that's Emily Engelking. And of course, she is with the United Way, and so excited to have you as part of the show. And let's talk about, for people that may or not familiar with Southern Indiana, or maybe United Way in general, can we talk about how the organization functions and what kind of projects and different types of people that it can help reach out to?
Yes, so the great thing about United Way is that we are actually an international organization, but specifically here in Indiana, Southern Indiana, the really cool thing that we're doing right now is we're going through this kind of organizational refresh. So United Ways across the country are kind of going through this, where as an organization, our focus areas are kind of in 4 pillars, and we're our primary focus is on healthy living, youth opportunities, financial security, and community resiliency. So as an organization, those are the sort of things that we are really passionate about. Those are our mission focuses. And, what does that mean? The thing about United Way is that we really believe that communities deserve to have the ability for every person to thrive. And using those 4 focus areas, kind of honing in on how do we bring resources to people, how do we connect people to the things that they need, and how do we make sure that communities are moving forward.
Yeah, I love that. So when people move to an area, or they're getting used to maybe their particular county or community that they live in, should they just reach out to their particular United Way?
Yeah, so I mean, the great thing is that we are, a lot of places, especially in Southern Indiana. We have a lot of different offices, and every office in every county county works differently. So the resources that they offer may be different, the programs, the volunteer opportunities. It's a really great way to kind of hone in on everything that's going on in your county or in your community. And you can always, when you're in a new place, like you can always reach out and say, hey, what's available? What sort of things should I know? Are there ways to get involved? Because especially in a new place or just in your community in general, giving back, getting involved with what's happening in your community is the first step in making sure that you are part of the change that's making your community better and pushing forward as well.
I love that. Well, speaking of United Way, I know it doesn't happen without good volunteers. So can people just volunteer for a specific event? Can they volunteer all year long if they need to get hours in, or if they just want to do something out of their own hearts? How do they get connected with that?
Yeah, reaching out to your local United Way office here in Jackson County. So specifically, we do all of our programming that focuses on Jackson County. So for us, we have great opportunities year round. We do some programs like our Day of Caring, which is a cross-county day of volunteerism. That's one day a year. But there are things throughout the year that even if, for example, we don't have something, the great thing about United Way and sort of the network that we provide in a community is if we don't have it, I can connect you to someone who does. And another organization in the county or in the community that has something available. It's really easy to sort of connect you to those things. But also when it comes to resources, your local United Way is going to know where you need to go for utility assistance, rental assistance, whatever it may be. It's a good place to start. So locally in Jackson County, if you have any of those questions, you can reach out to us. Our phone number is 812-522-5450. And, one of us can find whatever it is you're interested in or fill the needs that you have.
I love that. Well, do get connected with your local United Way, especially if you'd like to serve, or maybe you know someone who needs some resources. Either way, it's definitely a full circle organization that does define the heart of being a Hoosier. We'll be back right here on Southern Indiana Now. I'm Kelly Trask. Want to remind you can find the show all places where your favorite podcast is downloaded. And we know this is at southern.indiana.now.com. You can find us on YouTube, iHeart, Spotify, Apple, and more. Do check us out each and every Wednesday. We're back here with a new episode. You never know who we're going to talk to. You never know where we're going to be. But chances are we're somewhere that you haven't heard of, or maybe you just would like to know a little bit more information about. And you can find it all here at Southern Indiana Now. If you have a show suggestion or a place you would like us to check out, maybe some little unknown folklore or something along those lines, we would like to hear from you. You can send us an email at southern.indiana.now@gmail.com. Do want to thank Sean Hildreth for being our producer extraordinaire each and every week, making this show happen. And of course, want to thank Prosser Career and Education Center for making the show broadcast possible as well. You can check them out for a new career, and definitely lots of different choices in welding, construction, nursing, all sorts of things. So you can get connected with Prosser Career and Education Center. We'll be back here next week for Southern Indiana Now. I'm Kelly Trask.